Happy Star Wars Day, everyone! It's May the 4th be with you, and you know what that means, right? It's time for some more Star Wars related content. And, yeah, you'd think that with a franchise like Star Wars, there wouldn't be any racing games. I mean, Star Wars doesn't have any wheeled vehicles aside from one of the armored transports. Most, if not all, the vehicles are futuristic hover vehicles, because, well, it's Star Wars. But you would be surprised to know that there does exist a few Star Wars racing games out there. And during the hype of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, remember that? There was a game that was based on one scene from the movie itself. It's a scene where Anakin Skywalker enters the Boonta Eve Classic. And as you might have known already, it's a pod race. Yeah, the racing in pod racers. I pretty much don't have to explain the whole scene to you guys, because you already know how it goes. I mean, a lot of people pretty much know about Star Wars. So yeah, the whole pod racer scene needs no introduction. And whether you like or hate Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, or you like or hate Jar Jar Binks, there's no denying that this game is one of the best anti-gravity racers out there. And it's Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Yeah, there's a reason why they couldn't call it Pod Racer, because there's another futuristic racing game called Pod. Yeah, that's why they couldn't call it. But anyways, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer was released during the Episode 1 hype. And whether you like or hate Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, a lot of people like this game because, well, it made you feel like you were inside an actual pod racer. Yeah. It also has a rather unusual controller setup where you can use two N64 controllers and it'll be like controlling the pod racer itself. So yeah. It made you feel like that you were right in the Boonta Eve Classic. I mean, this game doesn't need much of an introduction, because it's basically pod racing, and you all know what pod racing is all about. So, let's strap ourselves into our pod racer and take a look at Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Here we go. This is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on the Nintendo 64. And we got an opening cutscene with the pod racers, and there's Sebulba's Pod Racer, or Racer as the game likes to call it, because, well, there's a futuristic racing game called Pod, and yeah, I pretty much mentioned this before. So yeah. The intro, of course, shows you what you can expect out of this game. So here we go. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and we got Tournament Mode, Free Play, and Time Attack. As you can tell, Time Attack is a time trial mode. Let's do Free Play. Yeah, I pretty much don't need to explain what a Time Attack mode is, because everyone knows what it is. So yeah. And what I like about this game is that the menu system is cool. Yeah, it actually takes place inside the Podracer garage, which is located in Mos Espa. Yeah, I know a lot about Star Wars. I know about the prominent locations. So yeah, we got some save files here. We got ROB, THP, RA, and another file that's XXX. Yeah, don't ask me why that's called that, but I'm sure there's a reason. Let's pick RA. And we got Anakin Skywalker. Yep. And we got our locations. We got Tatooine, the Boonta Eve Classic. We got some other locations. Well, these tracks have never appeared in the movie itself, but it's nice that there's some variety. Let's do Tatooine, the Boonta Eve Classic, and the track favorite is Sabooba. I do like the fact that each and every track has a different track favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna turn off the music, and we'll be ready. Let's go pod racing. Yeah, we got start vehicle, inspect vehicle, change vehicle, and options, which is the options menu. Yeah. We also got a intro cutscene during the race itself. Yeah, don't ask me why the options menu is in the race itself instead of being in the main menu, but it is what it is. So yeah. Here we go. As you can tell, this game recreates the feeling of being inside a pod racer. And it can actually take damage just like in the movie itself. Yeah, if you've seen Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, you'll know that the pod racers do usually fly apart. And once they get damaged, the racers have to fix them. Yeah. And the pod racers themselves do kind of remind me of the chariots. In fact, I think that's the intention, to try to make them look like a futuristic version of the horse chariots in Roman times. And one of the mechanics is, if you hold up on the analog stick, you use the boost, but there is a catch here. Don't think that you can use it all the time, because if you use it too much, the engines will overheat. So you can't use it all the time. There is actually a cooldown here. Yeah, and the controls also feel pretty smooth. At least for an anti-gravity racer. Yeah. And you also have to be careful. You can't just floor it all the time. There are corners where you have to slow down. And there's another mechanic here that I'm going to explain. So yeah. This track is much shorter than the movie itself, but that was the main intent, to basically shrink down the size of the Boonta Eve Classic, but to still give off the same feeling as in the movie itself. Yeah, the course for the Boonta Eve Classic was really long, so it made sense of why it had to be shortened. Yeah, we're on the final lap. Almost there. Yeah, it's a really clever trick if you ask me. Oh! Yeah, this is what happens when you go into the wall really fast, or into a solid object really fast. Your pod racer gets completely destroyed and you respawn. Yeah, thankfully Anakin Skywalker is a Jedi. He can survive that. Because, well, Jedi are powerful. There we go. Anakin Skywalker won the race just like in the movie itself. And, yeah, that is that. So there you go. This is proof that you don't always need wheels to make a great racing game, because Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is one of the best anti-gravity racers out there. Yeah, it ranks up there with F-Zero X and F-Zero GX in the Wipeout games and being one of the best anti-gravity racers of all time. I definitely feel like I'm in the cockpit of a pod racer. And if you really want to immerse yourself into pod racing action, then there is a weird controller setup where you have to get a second Nintendo 64 controller just so that you can be inside the cockpit of a pod racer. Yeah, it is a great game. It's definitely a lot of fun and definitely does feel like you're in the action. Yep, and it also feels like you're right there in the Boonta Eve Classic. As you can tell, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer has multiple versions, including the N64 version that is the topic of this video, but there is an arcade version where apparently it has the handlebars of the pod racer. That's real cool, man. Yeah, there is no question about it. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer gets a 9 out of 10. Yeah, it is one of the best examples of anti-gravity racers and proof that even without wheeled vehicles and cars, Star Wars can still make a good racing game. And yeah, may the Force be with you. So there you go. Happy May the 4th be with you, everyone. This game is really good, and I think the sequel is just as good. Yeah, the sequel is known as Star Wars Racer Revenge. So, if you have the chance, definitely check out Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on any console. It doesn't matter which version it is, you'll still have the same good old Boonta Eve Classic Podracing excitement. But anyways, it is time to sign off. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you, everyone. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell just in case you haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and may the Force be with you. Peace out.